Years ago, when I first moved out on my own, my faith journey as an adult was just beginning. I remember feeling lonely sometimes, but it wasn't sad or upsetting. It was just this realization that for the first time, I was on my own. I have to admit that I liked the quiet, which, if you know me, is probably not all that surprising. It was at that time in my life that I started noticing a wild hare outside of my building. It was often sitting by my car when I left in the mornings for my first teaching job. While I loved seeing this beautiful and peaceful presence, I have to admit that I didn't think much of it at the time. But as things go and as life was, well, life, I realized that the hare always seemed to be there when I needed to know that I was okay. The hare's presence helped build my faith. It helped me understand that I wasn't actually on this journey alone. Over the years, God's love, acceptance, and encouragement has always been there in the form of that furry little visitor, a visitor that has grounded me, keeping me connected to my faith. In the fall of 2020, my family noticed a change in my mom's health. She was physically suffering, but she refused to talk about it or address it. After Christmas, we were finally able to convince her to go to the hospital. The relief that we felt that she was finally receiving help was like the weight of the world being lifted from our shoulders. Because of COVID, we couldn't go see her, but we were confident that she was where she needed to be. 2 weeks after my mom checked into the hospital, my dad called. My dad never calls. He was calling to let me know that my mom wasn't going to be coming home. The doctors gave her, at best, 2 weeks. I was stunned. Immediately, I began to think about how I was going to tell my 2 daughters, aged 9 and 11, that they would not get to see their Oma again. After sitting down with them to share the news, the girls and I decided that we would go to the store that night and we would find a stuffed animal that we thought Oma would like. We would fill it with all of the hugs that we could, and then we would have my dad deliver it to her at the hospital. We might not be able to see her or hug her ourselves, but we could let her know that she wasn't alone and that we loved her. I remember as I got into the car, I just instinctively looked for my furry friend. I knew there would be one there. "Girls, look," I said. "There's the rabbit." Knowing the significance of the hares, the girls were quiet for a minute. And then my oldest said, "Wait, Mom, there's another one." And then my youngest said, "Mom, look over there." As we looked around the car, we saw not 1, not 2, but 6 hares surrounding our car on every side. Faith and hope are an interesting pair. My faith helps me to know that God is with me always. But my hope in God is the assurance that He is there for all of us now and in the future in ways that I can't even imagine. Our faith tells us to look for one rabbit, but hope reminds us that we have no idea the number of furry friends that He will provide. However many it might be, though, it will be glorious. Dear Lord, thank you for the gifts you have given us. Thank you for being there for us when we see you and when we don't. Thank you for promising us so much more than we can even imagine. Thank you for helping build my faith and for giving me hope.